I have been always puzzled by the fact that socialist housing has made such a negative impression on Westerners after the collapse of the Soviet Union. When borders opened up and many people came to Eastern Europe, they have seen these housing areas as horrible and very inconvenient locations for people to live in. So I've come to one of the largest housing areas in the Czech Republic that was constructed between the 1950s and the 1970s, and I'm here to investigate this claim. In fact, I would like to prove that socialist housing areas are very convenient to live in. They have several advantages compared to capitalist housing construction. And one of the things is that you immediately realize in this video, I'm in the very center of a large housing area that hosts about 60,000 people, and there are tens of thousands of homes in the area, and still when we are looking around, what we see here is a lot of green space. First of all, there were the economic constraints. So socialist countries had a tight budget on the construction of workers' housing. Even in the 60s and 70s, when housing was one of the main goals of the regimes, both in the Soviet Union and in the satellite states. But still, this didn't mean that they had indefinite amount of finances to finance these projects to host millions of people in new homes. Those homes needed to be equipped with the basic necessities. There had to be a bathroom, a private bathroom, there had to be a private toilet in every apartment, there had to be running water, hot and cold, there had to be sewage, and all the basic necessities that we see today as inherent part of urban life. So there was the economic and as well technological constraints. And at the meantime, the communist ideology came into part, and this is why the socialist housing areas are so different than other housing areas that you see all over the world in Western Europe. They're just simply less cramped. One of the main goals of communism is that the working class, the workers, need to have not only healthy but also green housing. And this is why the communist regimes had to work under these pressures and plan housing areas that would not only be affordable, but they would be also very green at the same time. Past 30 years or so, these housing units have been refurbished, and what I'm going to do, what I want to invite you to, is to look into one of these apartments and take a sneak peek, take a look inside. And I want to show you one of these apartments inside, because I want you to judge yourself. How do you feel about these apartments? Do you think they are comfortable? Would you spend a night there, perhaps with Airbnb, or would you want to immediately relocate to Eastern Europe and buy one of your own? Okay, so here's your communist apartment. There's nothing luxurious here. Everything is very practical, so you need to look via that lens. And this is a studio apartment. It's about 32 square meters. The unit is located in a house that was built in the early 70s, late 60s probably. And the apartment has been renovated. So when you look around, you can see that stuff is kind of new here, but the walls they are the original ones, of course, and there are some elements which haven't been changed much in the past decade. There's the living room and bedroom area. Got a nice bed here. It's very comfy, and there you go. There's the window. We can open it, and you see that the view is not quite bad. It's actually quite nice. I can see another tower that has been also renovated. This tower looks exactly like that. And what hasn't changed is the heating system. So you have the old heating system here, but the window and the door, the balcony door, they've been replaced. So they are completely new. When you look outside the balcony, you can see that it's completely renovated. It's brand new. It's also glazed, so you can move the glasses and you can let some air in. What you can see from here is that the street itself, it has been designed in a way that there is no parking spaces or like very limited parking in the area. There's a huge parking area behind this building, but to be frank, it was not built until the 1990s. Okay, so let's take a look at the kitchen. Yeah, this is the dining area. That is my work spot as well at the moment. There is a nice kitchen. It's a nice full kitchen, very small. It's really like low frills, no frills here. Interestingly, there is no gas stove in this unit. This is an electric stove, and it just works perfectly fine. And there's your communist toilet. Some of you might be interested in. How does it look like? It's not too big, to be frank. It's kind of small, but comfortable. There you go. You can hear a lot from the neighbors. This is probably the weakest spot in this communist housing or socialist housing. There is the ventilation shaft, and via that, the neighbor is obviously a smoker, a tobacco smoker, and you can get some smoke inside the apartment. And actually, I have no idea what is behind this, so let's take a look. Okay, so there you go. There's the tobacco smell that's coming up, and you have the ventilation shaft here, and the water pipes, the hot water pipes, and the sewage, and also electricity, I believe. So you get everything when you're on the toilet. You got everything behind your back, and there is a separate bathroom that is also not too big, but it's very practical. It has been also renovated, so there's a tiny bathtub that can be used mostly while sitting down, and there is a very small washing machine which fits in. It's a very tiny one. It's a very narrow one, but it's a very practical one. I think the owner has made several changes in the apartment compared to its original layout. I imagine that the kitchen might have been separate, and also there could have been a door here. I have no idea, honestly. But this is a very good example of how do these apartments look inside, and they are not that shabby as many people assume and think that communist housing must be like miserable and horrible and you don't want to be there. And also the price range is very affordable. Of course, when you take into account the local salaries, this is not a cheap apartment to purchase. But I've checked the prices on a private website, and for a 30 square meter apartment like this one in a big city that is located it's located in Ostrava, in a nice place, in a nice area in Ostrava. That has the surrounding area has a lot of restaurants and bars and a lot of services. So obviously this is a sought after area. There's a lot of young families living here. There's a lot of young people living here. So this is a great location for a small apartment like this. I imagine that a number of people would love to buy an apartment like this, especially in such a lovely condition. So now it's your turn to think about all these features and guess what is the price in euros that people actually would pay for this apartment. 50,000. There you go. This apartment is about 50,000 euros.